is up? Hey everybody. Had a weird little thing. Check if my audio's coming through alright. Yep. Looks like it. It does indeed look like it. Hi. Bad Empanadas live streaming. It's titled The Last Stream Ever. One can only hope. One can only hope. That would be a wonderful gift, Bad and Banana. But I doubt it. We have the anthropic thing. That's a thing. Oh. Where the hell's my mouse? Okay. While we wait. Oh. It's not the right account. While we wait. Let's watch some Beard Meets Food.
Alright, today we are in Southport at a place called The Hungry Monk, where they challenge patrons to chance their arm at this thing. The Hungriest Monk Challenge. Finish the feast or
What up,
fork
yeah,
over
yeah?
the fee. Doesn't really give
How's
away
it going?
much in terms of what's actually in the challenge, but I appreciate the alliteration. Sounds nice. Funny name, isn't it? The Hungry Monk. I'm not sure I'm the hungriest monk, but certainly since being single, I'm probably about as sexually inactive as one. Should we get inside? Look at this. Bit of a social hub here in Southport. Old pub down a little alleyway. Ginnell, Snicket, if you want to be old-fashioned. And a pretty healthy lunchtime train, I would say. You smell that? Smells
What's
like an old
new?
building. You seen all the pictures on the walls? Look at these. Shot at the time. That was probably just your average sort of family portrait, but pictures like that sort of take on a slightly creepy feel, don't they, over time. Look here, look what we found right next to the ubiquitous Carling pump that you'll find in essentially every pub.
Really heavy or something? They look pretty big. Heavy and hard? Yeah. Like cleaning spray here, because this mouse pad gets a little dirty. I've got wipes though, at least. Okay. Got a wet and a dry wipe. Well, that sucks. How much do they cost? What's up, Barcode? Were they like super expensive, or that would extra suck?
England, there's the winners and losers board, and as you can see right now, there are 18 failures and 0 successors. I think they probably meant to write successes. I like this place, man. Look around. Look how cool it is. It's got like a chandelier up there. Sign that says life is good, and just loads of knickknacks. You seen this thing over here? If you got your specs, borrow some of ours. What do you reckon? I think maybe these ones. Whoa, whoa, they are powerful. You look much better now, though. How do I look? Thinking like a young Buddy Holly or Ben Elton or something.
You've aged about 20 years.
Yeah. I don't actually know what is in this thing because the blackboard outside, however rustic and quaint, does not actually tell you what's in the challenge. That's how they sucker you in. But I've just noticed that they do, so there's a little leaflet on the table. 30 minutes to finish salt and chili loaded fries, a gourmet hot dog, Frank's hot chicken wings, mac and cheese, onion rings, and a double beef and chicken burger with bacon and cheese smothered in Monk's burger sauce. You also get 1 free soft drink included whilst doing the challenge. Whether that is included or not, we will have to find out. Do you reckon that was shot on like an 8 megapixel camera or something? Like one of Randy's videos, that. Pretty dramatic, right? A bit gothic, sort of macabre looking. I always thought if I retired, maybe I would become a monk, like a Tibetan monk, not a Carthusian monk. The ones that live in the hills with the nice orange sash on. I'm not gonna retire yet though. A couple years. What do you reckon? I'll make 50, I think. Looking forward to this one. Wowee.
There you go. Good luck.
Thank
Jesus
you very
Christ.
much.
Thank you.
I think I might need it. It
This
looks
dude is
delicious.
a
All right,
fucking
today we're at a place
machine.
called the Hungry Monk in Southport, and we're taking on the hungriest monk
He's gonna
challenge,
eat that whole
which has
fucking
yet to be
thing,
defeated.
dude.
18 people have attempted.
He's gonna eat
All
that
right.
whole fucking
Including-
thing.
You told me your son.
He has, yeah.
You said he didn't quite do
No,
it.
he's 6'2", he's very broad, and he got cut off with the onion rings and the spice. It was too much for him.
The spice.
A little bit, yeah.
Are they really spicy?
Well, I've not tried it, but it's spicy.
Fortunately, I love onion rings, so I don't think there'll be a problem for me. The spicy chicken wings might be. It's $34.95, but if you do it in 30 minutes, it's free,
Yeah.
and you get a little notch on the successes board.
Yeah. How
3,
much did those
2,
shoes
1.
cost?
30 minutes.
What should we start with? Not the chicken wings, the burger.
No trips to the hospital today.
Well, we'll see. It's a lot of food.
This dude is like,
Dipping the burger in the mac and cheese. A lot
There's
of people
something
get
up
a
with his
little wound
stomach.
up with me, kind of.
Hexeth and Trump throwing a fit over Anthropic not capitulating to their insane demands. I know. That's some wild shit.
Of, doing it piece by piece, item by item.
Little by little, everything they want to do is just slipping away. He's gonna try to do voter intimidation, and I just don't see it. I see the Supreme Court like 9-0 smacking that down. 9-0. I could see the Supreme Court doing that, but we'll see. There might be 6-3 or 7-2. You never know with this court, but like I wouldn't be surprised if they hit a 9-0, smacking down the. Well, because there might be like a request for an emergency stay or something.
Mix things up a little. Oh yeah, look at that.
It's making me hungry.
It sounded like a baby crying. Four, cameraman, come on now. Thank you very much. See, people often ask me what use you are in these videos. There's your answer. You can pass me utensils.
Any jobs going elsewhere?
There's a guy outside looking pretty curious. Look
I
at
don't
that.
think we'll be able to do refunds if they lost the rule.
Oh,
Here we are, yep.
I love the mustard in this one. It's got a very fruity, some type of mustard.
Sour and take on a Big Mac sauce.
Yeah, it was very good, very fruity. That was a substantial burger. There's like a group of people stood outside now. They've got cheap seats. No, no. What do you reckon? What next? Hot dog?
Hot dog.
Oh, yeah. Let me grab the old Diet Coke. Bringing it out a little early this week. All right. Onion rings, gotta be. Look at the size of those suckers. Dip these in the old mac and cheese. Oh yeah. Got a little bit of cheese skin on there.
10 minutes down.
10 minutes. I get what, 30?
30 minutes, yeah.
Come on, old man. The onion rings are good. It's weird, I'm not a huge fan of onions, but when they're deep fried, not unlike everything else, they taste much better. Look at that. Golden brown. Well, you see that's golden brown? It's like one of the rings from Sonic.
It's got very accurate.
Giving away my age there a little bit.
Cut this out, George.
Don't cut this out.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Let's do some of the chips. These have peppers on too, and some more cheese, which sort of sticks them all together. I did not realize they're also chicken pieces.
This dude is insane.
I just heard somebody over my left shoulder say the only thing that you would struggle to do on here would be the mac and cheese.
That's halfway, mate.
Bro, that guy's still there.
This gent out in the window in the white t-shirt follows you.
Oh, how's it going, man?
Dude's like a world champion eater.
I thought she was going to come through the glass there for a second. He was pounding on it. Ten minutes left. Question now is, do I eat the chicken wings which are spicy and then use some of the
Randy,
mac and
yep,
cheese to
absolutely.
potentially cool some
Fucking
of that down?
Randy.
Or the mac and cheese and then just try and sort of rifle through the chicken wings?
Well, because,
To the
I
chickens.
mean, realistically, yeah. The Republicans are very much an our side, we're okay with it type of people, which is, like, insane, because, like, well, it puts us at a realistic disadvantage, honestly. Because, like, they will say, yeah, Katya, yeah. they'll say like, well, the Dems are doing it, so we'll do it, when in, you know, reality the Dems aren't doing it, and then they all accept that as like an excuse. And like it's so problematic because at the end of the day, the Dems won't do it, which means they keep breaking the rules and we just have to deal with it. Bad news. Bad news, I'm telling you. Really bad. Tread on me harder, President Trump. Don't stop treading.
How hot could they be? They're a little spicy. Is that clean enough? Yeah?
Dude's a beast. And look at him too, he's fucking jacked.
Look at that. That's what you call a clean chicken wing. The spice is intensified. Starting to sweat a little. Josh is starting to look a little nervous. His knees tapping there. Not much time left.
I'm sweating, mate. I hope you can do it.
Almost done with the wings. All right, just the mac and cheese to go.
There's such reasonable asks. Don't use your platform for domestic surveillance or autonomous weapons. No one in the admin is having a good time defending their position. I know. That's been the story of this admin for the past few weeks, and it's
a very clean type of cheese.
Amazing.
Very cheesy
I love
cheese,
it.
which really sounds a little ridiculous, but sometimes mac and cheese can be a little mild. I'm really getting the cheese from this. Either that, or you've taken your shoes off. What are they, by the way?
What are those?
Was that 4 minutes? I think we're gonna do it. Almost there, almost. All right, this has been Mixed Food, and that was the, so far, until right now, unbeaten Hungriest Monk Challenge. Did you get that? He's gone now. The guy in the red jacket was there the whole time. Oh, is he?
absolute winner.
Tell you what, you deserve a pint on me.
Absolutely.
I can't say money for me. Really, I really appreciate it.
Just a real winner, quite frankly.
But, yeah.
I really appreciate watching, man.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it if it weren't for you.
I will be telling what's the difference. Yeah. Thank you. No, thank you. Place is all mine.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
Take care.
What a king.
What a cutie.
Finger balls.
What's that? What?
Finger balls.
Oh, finger ball. You know what? This is in 10, 11 years. This is the first time anyone's brought me a finger ball. Thank you very much.
There you go.
With the lemon in there and everything. Thank you very much. So what's it like that? Look at that Michelin star restaurant. Oh, look how cloudy this is going. Hey, have you seen
To
that?
wash his fingies.
In between this reference there, that's really cool. Thank you very much. Do you have a dessert menu? Yeah? Ooh, desserts.
What a king.
I'll take this out your way.
Oh, thank you very much. What do you reckon, boys?
What a
Brownie.
king.
Sticky toffee pudding, cheesecake of the day, crumble of the day, white chocolate cookie dough, or cinnamon sugar coated churros.
I think you've got to do cheesecake of the day.
The cheesecake is Biscoff cheesecake.
Oof, say no more. I'll take the Biscoff cheesecake, please. He's got a bit of a flex on there. I see what you're doing.
I tried.
Thanks, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you. Not only did I get
Yeah, he always
pouring
gets
cream, I also got
dessert.
some whipped cream. Ooh, it's good.
Ridiculous.
The base could use a little more crunch, but it is good. I know what you're thinking. I'm not drinking the cream. Right, we're off. Can't forget the t-shirt. And actually,
Dude's gonna
I
have
need to
the biggest
sign the book.
poop.
Can I sign the board? Oh, yeah. Underneath, I'm gonna. Yeah. Right. Let's get out of here. Thanks for having us. Hope I didn't make too much mess.
Hell yeah.
I also want to add
Oh.
one other thing which I think is really important. Republicans have now set a new precedent, which is to bring in presidents and former presidents to
Yep.
testify. So we're once again going to make that call that we did yesterday. We are now asking and demanding that President Trump officially come in and testify in front of the Oversight Committee. He appears in the Epstein files next to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell almost more than anybody else. So it's time for the president to answer questions about why files are missing from the DOJ, why there's been a White House cover-up, and why
He
we
won't,
continue
but
in that
it'll look
administration
bad.
to call this investigation a hoax. And finally, I'll review the call that we made yesterday, that we are demanding, again, that the press and the public be allowed inside the depositions so that you can hear the answers and the questions directly. And if that's not going to happen, they need to release a full, unedited review of the questions and video within 24 hours of the end of these depositions. That means the Secretary Clinton deposition needs to be released immediately today.
And there it is. Democrats on the Oversight Committee are now calling on Donald Trump to testify for Congress regarding his knowledge of the Epstein files, thanks to the precedent set by who other than James Comer and the Oversight Republicans themselves. And let's be clear, this should not have come as a surprise. Everyone was clear that if Republicans wanted to establish this precedent where anyone can be hauled in front of Congress to answer questions about Epstein, including presidents, then it should apply to all presidents, not just Democratic ones. And of course, the point of this stunt by James Comer was obvious. He wanted the Epstein situation to devolve into the usual D versus R food fight. And he took his cues from who else but Trump.
Got to get back to running the country, too. Millions and millions every week. You know, when Epstein was alive, nobody cared about him. When he's dead, they care about him. But it's really a Democrat problem. It's not a Republican, it's a Democrat problem. The only problem Republicans have is that we have to get back to, number one, running our country, and then number two, very importantly, letting the public know what a great job we're doing.
But here's the problem. Democrats are not in a cult of personality. We are not going to blindly rush to Bill Clinton's defense just because he's a Democrat. Frankly, Bill Clinton should testify. I'm glad he testified. I also happen to think everyone involved should testify. And now, thanks to Comer, we have that precedent that says exactly that. And in fact,
Thanks to
Comer was
Comer.
asked about this point. Here's what he had to say.
Secretary Clinton said in her opening statement, if Republicans were serious about investigating Jeffrey Epstein, that you would call President Trump to testify. Why won't you?
Well, President Trump has answered hundreds, if not thousands, of questions from you all about Epstein.
That's not testifying, you
he's been
fucking
very
bozo.
transparent in releasing the documents. We expect hopefully more documents to come in. We're still assessing the 3 million plus documents that we have. We obviously will be moving on to the next phase and bringing more people in for questions.
Okay, let's get something straight. Answering questions about Epstein by lying is not transparency, it's just lying. Making yourself available to the press so you can spew bullshit is not transparency, it's just lying. By Comer's logic, answers like these would be sufficient to say that Trump has already answered for all of his Epstein connections in a satisfactory manner.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
So apparently that, right there, was sufficient for James Comer, Mr. Serious Investigation. But surely, there must be a more satisfactory answer.
Is there something incriminating in the file, sir? Quiet.
What did Jeffrey Epstein mean in his emails that he said you knew about?
That moment is like, that should go down in history, honestly, as like one of the worst examples of presidential behavior. And like, it doesn't make you look very innocent, does it? Like, you kind of look like a guilty fuck when you do that. Quiet, Peggy.
I know nothing about that. They would have announced that a long time ago. It's really, what did he mean when he spent all the time with Bill Clinton, with the president of Harvard, you know, that is Summers, Larry Summers, whatever his name is, and all of the other people that he spent time with. Jeffrey Epstein and I had a very bad relationship for many years. But he also saw strike because I was president. So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. Give me a break. You got to find out, what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan shares. Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
Incriminating in the file, sir?
Quiet.
Ah, yes. Nothing says transparency quite like calling a female reporter piggy when she tries to ask a question about Epstein. I guess that's
So
the kind
bad.
of open book nature that
No,
James
I
Comer
didn't.
wanted to see. But
Send
hey,
me some stuff.
just for fun, let's try one more.
We talked about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and correspondence that he had with him. Did you read those new files that were published by the Department of Justice?
I didn't. I have a lot of things I'm doing, you know, a lot of things.
A lot of
I don't
things
know.
that I'm doing.
You mentioned two names. I'm sure they're fine. Otherwise, it
I'm a
would have been
little
major
busy.
headlines.
A lot of women who are survivors.
It is major
they're
headlines,
unhappy with
dingus.
the redactions that came out. Some of them, entire witness interviews are totally blacked out. Do you
Well,
think
they're
that they
also
should be more
unhappy with the fact
transparent?
that they thought they released too much. You know, I heard that, and you tell me something else. No. I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else. Really. You know, now that nothing came out about me, other than there was a conspiracy against me, literally by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else,
What would you say to people
like
who feel like they haven't gotten
healthcare,
justice,
and
Mr. President?
something that people care about. Yeah, what did you say? Go ahead.
What would you say to
are
the
so
survivors
bad.
who feel like they haven't
You
gotten
are the
justice?
worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know, she's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile
Well,
in
I'm
your
asking
face.
you about survivors.
You know why? You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth, and you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you. Okay, go ahead.
Survivors of a sexual abuse.
Ah, that must be the very satisfactory response from Donald Trump that James Comer was looking for. I could see how a deposition for Trump wouldn't even be necessary since he's already been so transparent. Right, James? I actually asked Congressman Ro Khanna about the likelihood of hauling Donald Trump in front of Congress to testify. Here's what he had to say. Is there some recognition by even your Republican colleagues that if the precedent they want to establish is that you can haul in former presidents and their families, if they have any involvement whatsoever with Epstein, to answer questions under oath, that there will come a point when Donald Trump is not in office anymore, and that those people have to abide by the precedent that they're setting right now? Has that dawned on these people, or do you think that they're just saying it now because it's convenient to drag Bill Clinton in, and then they'll pull a Mitch McConnell and change their mind once it's no longer politically convenient for them to have to do so?
Certainly dawned on Donald Trump. That's why he doesn't want Bill Clinton to be testifying. That's why he's out there saying, I don't like what I'm seeing.
So if he's saying that, I mean, it's a serious enough possibility for him to be considering it.
Well, he knows that he's going to be out of power, and he knows that likelihood that Robert Garcia is going to be chairman of oversight. And what's he going to do? The first thing, we're going to subpoena Trump. So the reality is that Trump has far more at stake on this. He's the one who actually has to answer a lot of the questions, and I actually think Comer has set a trap, because now when you have Bill Clinton willing to testify and Hillary Clinton willing to testify, any rich and powerful person in America can evade testimony. And that is, in my view, actually a good thing.
Oh, I did see the clip.
Clearing testimony,
I did see the clip where the lawyer was like, if you answer any more of their questions with more than 5 words, I'll fucking kill you or whatever.
The Epstein class that was callow, immature, reckless, that basically went
me and something gaming 23. You notice my channel and you think you can help me out, dude? Just yeah, you can gift me as many subs as you want. That'll help out a lot.
Let me give you like a question, and then as you explain your morals, and we kind of speak to that, right?
Yeah. That Destiny philosophy discussion looked interesting.
A convicted pedophile, because they were so interested in being part of this elite, because they thought they were above the law. And until there is a moral reckoning and a clearing of this class, I don't care if they're Democrats, Republicans, until there's a clearing of this class and a new moral beginning, we aren't going to restore the democratic project. Fortunately, this is the one thing that seems to unite Americans, left and right, to take on this corrupt class.
And of course, to watch the full review with Ro Khanna and all of my other interviews, as well as the rest of my content, the best way to do that is to subscribe to this channel. I'm going to put the link on this screen. It is completely free to subscribe, so just hit the subscribe button, but it's a great way to support my work, and I really appreciate it. So look, I've been crystal clear for months now. Anyone who has information about Jeffrey Epstein should testify. That includes Democrats and Republicans. But what's happening here at the hands of these Republicans is not transparency. It is a stunt. They heard Trump's little clarion call to make this a, quote, Democrat problem, and they're following orders. The notion that Hillary Clinton, who is not mentioned once in the Epstein files, would testify before the guy who's mentioned 38,000 times is a testament to exactly that. And the fact that Pam Bondi lied about the files being on her desk is a testament to that. The fact that those right-wing influencers waved around their fake little binders is a testament to that. The fact that Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to a low-security prison is a testament to that. The fact that it's more than 2 months after the Epstein files were supposed to be released because of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, and 3 million files haven't yet been released, is a testament to that. It could not be more obvious that the US government, under Donald Trump, is engaged in a systematic cover-up to protect a pedophile ring. And while all of these Republicans parade the Clintons around and cosplay as champions for transparency, the reality is that they could have actual transparency if they wanted it. But they'd rather stay in Trump's good graces than expose him for what he truly is.
A former blowing the whistle. It is absolutely insane, extraordinarily serious allegations from Ryan Schwenk, who says that the training program at ICE Academy is by design deficient, defective, and broken. Now, I'm going to play his testimony in a moment. One of the issues or questions that's come up as we see ICE agents carry out this completely immoral and also just counterproductive in every way. To even call it a deportation program doesn't make sense, because a lot of the people aren't even subject to deportation, but sort of goon squad raids, whatever you want to call it. As we see them carry it out, one of the questions we've come up against is, how could their instincts be so disastrous when they are out on the streets talking to people, interacting with people? Is it because the training has failed, or is it because the training is the problem? And at least from what Ryan Schwenk says, it seems that a lot of the problems are that this is how people are being trained. Now, of course, the training is too short and not comprehensive enough. But the point is, according to the whistleblower, on his first day training cadets, he was someone training them. He was given instructions to teach them to enter homes without warrants. That's against the law. He also claims 240 hours of instruction were cut, including classes on the legal system, firearms training, use of force, what constitutes a lawful arrest, what are the standards to detain someone, the limits of their authority. Well, that's going to be a problem. Take a listen to this.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Senator Blumenthal, Representative Garcia, members of the committee. My name is Ryan Schwenk. I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution when I joined ICE on August 1st, 2021, as an assistant chief counsel. I followed that oath for 4.5 years, working side by side with ICE officers. And I followed it when I resigned on February 13th, 2026, a little over a week ago, so that I could speak to you today. I am here because I am duty-bound to report the legally required training program at the ICE Academy is deficient, defective, and broken. 5 months ago, I was asked to teach the law to new cadets at the ICE Academy in Glencoe, Georgia, where ICE is training its new, inexperienced recruits. I volunteered, those without law enforcement training, I volunteered to take on this assignment based on my experience in law enforcement oversight, including at the state and local level prior to my work with ICE. On my first day, I received secretive orders to teach new cadets to violate the Constitution by entering homes without a judicial warrant. For the last 5 months, I watched ICE dismantle the training program, cutting 240 hours of vital classes from a 584-hour program. Classes that teach the Constitution, our legal system, firearms training, the use of force, lawful arrests, proper detention, and the limits of officers' authority.
Sort of like all of the critical stuff, these are not little details. This should really make up the core of their training, in fact.
For example, they ceased all of the legal instructions regarding use of force. This means that cadets are not taught what it means to be objectively reasonable, the very standard which the law requires them to meet when deciding whether or not to use deadly force.
Why are they using deadly force in the way that they are? It seems that it's inappropriate. Well, they weren't trained as to what's appropriate, at least according to Ryan Schwenk.
Our jobs as instructors are to teach them so well that they can make split-second decisions about what they can and cannot do in life or death situations. Yet, in the name of churning out an endless stream of officers, DHS leadership has dismantled the academic and practical tests that we need to know if cadets can safely and lawfully perform their job. All to satisfy an administration demanding they train thousands of new officers before the end of the year. DHS told the public that new cadets receive all the training they need to perform their duties, that no critical material or standards have been cut. This is a...
And it cuts off there where he says this is a lie. Let's break this down very carefully. And, you know, that's 3 minutes of video. It's relatively boring testimony. You really have to be able to think through what it is that Ryan Schwenk is saying here. We have a Fourth Amendment in this country, and it protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. Entering a private home without a judicial warrant is a clear constitutional red line in American law, with extraordinarily narrow exceptions. Law enforcement officers normally receive extensive training because if you violate it, you invalidate a case and you can even expose your agency to a lawsuit.
Yep.
If ICE cadets are being instructed to bypass warrant requirements as standard practice, that is not a
Quick break. I've been waiting. I've been waiting for you. What? Can you not hear? Oh. Well.
Claire?
Yeah?
Can I talk to you about something?
I'll
Yeah,
turn it up
what's
when
up?
we get back to it.
You know your friend Marcel?
Yeah?
Yeah, he's great.
I know, he's great. He's my best friend.
Yeah, right. But,
What?
I'm
I still want to make sure y'all can hear
I'm not
me
really sure
too.
how to say this, but I'm just not sure I'm comfortable with how close you two are.
Mikey, Marcel's gay.
Yeah, I know that.
He's not gonna, do anything. He's not interested in people like me.
Yeah, I know that.
People with vaginas.
I get it. But he,
But what?
He just...
He what?
Claire!
My girlfriend left me for her gay best friend.
He's in our bedroom.
So?
So we're getting settled for the night and trying to go to bed, and there's another man in our bedroom.
He's not into me.
I know! I know!
Whoa, what's going on?
Nothing, Marcel.
He thinks you're trying to steal me from him.
Claire!
What?
No, I don't.
Mikey.
Getting your wish, too. Marcel's getting more stuff, more work.
You know I'm a homosexual, right?
Marcel, I am
What up, Cinderella?
well aware that you are a homosexual.
Okay. So, what's the problem?
Claire and I are about to go to bed, and it's 11 p.m., and you're sitting there in our beanbag.
Okay.
You're sort of invading our personal space.
Mikey, he's not into me.
I know.
Oh, I get it. He doesn't want me to leave because he thinks I'm gonna hook up with you, Claire. No. That's not what this is.
Exactly. Thank you, Marcel.
Yeah. He wants me to leave because I'm gay.
What? No.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm, girl.
No, not girl. No, I just want him to leave because he's in our bedroom and it's 11 p.m. on a Wednesday and I'm trying to go to bed. That's all.
Likely story.
He doesn't think I'm gonna fuck you, Claire. He thinks I'm gonna fuck him.
No, what? No.
Oh, what? You think he just wants to fuck every guy he lays his eyes on?
What? No, I'm not. No.
You think every time I'm in a bedroom with a man, I'm trying to fuck him, Mikey?
No.
He doesn't want to have sex with you, Mikey. Nobody does.
Talk your shit, Claire.
I know you're not gonna fuck me, Marcel. I think you're a great guy.
In spite of the fact that I'm a dick sommelier?
No, not in spite of any of that. I think you're great, including the fact that you're a dick sommelier or whatever it is that you said. I think all of you is great, okay? Your sexual orientation has nothing to do with me wanting you out of this room.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, good, you get it. Okay, see, he gets it this time.
It's because I'm black.
Wait, no!
Because he's black.
No.
Versus this room next to the country, right?
What is happening? How is this happening?
I had my friend over and you tried to kick him out because he's gay and black.
Because it's our room. That's it. That's everything. Nothing to do with gay, nothing to do with black. The fact that he's in our room and I'm trying to sleep.
I can't believe I loved you.
Loved?
Oh yeah, I can't love a fucking bigot.
I'm not a bigot.
Yeah, she can't love a fucking bigot, Mikey.
Okay, Marcel, shut the fuck up.
I bet you watch Get Out and Root for the Family, don't you?
Okay. I don't know what I said that led this so astray, right? I listen, clearly I have said something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Something that might have been homophobic, maybe, or racist. I don't think I did, but if I did...
Apologize to Marcel.
Listen, man, I love the fact that you're gay. I love the fact that you're black.
Well, you're making it kind of weird now.
Yeah, I'm really uncomfortable.
Okay, too far, sorry. I don't know what rules I'm playing by. Listen, Marcel, I am sorry, okay? And I do think you're great. And I promise from this day forward, I will try to be better. Whatever that means, however I can.
Can I stay?
Can you stay?
Oh my god.
First is the room, next is the country. Keep going, Mikey. Yeah.
He cracked. That's so good. That's so good. Alright.
Area. That is a systemic protocol of violating rights. And the second part might be just as alarming. Cutting 240 hours of instruction from a federal law enforcement academy is not a small tweak. It is months of preparation. And if those hours include legal training, use of force doctrine, firearms training, you are creating officers with less knowledge of constitutional boundaries, and it is going to lead to exactly what we're seeing. It is illuminating. It is a radioactive combination. Reduced legal education plus increased operational authority, at least as far as they believe, means you're going to be doing unlawful arrests, excessive force, and if we step back from this, ICE is operating in one of the most politically charged environments that any federal law enforcement agency has had to operate.
Let's get out, Root for the Family.
Its
That
officers are
line
conducting
was
home
wild.
visits, detentions, removals. You can't sort of be like, well, we don't really need the constitutional literacy. It is foundational to what they are doing. If the whistleblower is accurate, there are 3 implications here. Number 1, civil liberties risk. If they're improperly entering homes or conducting arrests that go beyond legal threshold, you're eroding Fourth Amendment protections. Absolute tragedy. Number 2, not that I care, but there is huge institutional liability. Unlawful entry or detention exposes them and taxpayers, this is why we would care, to lawsuits and settlements and civil judgments. That's not what I want law enforcement agencies involved in. And finally, you are also degrading your own mission. If you have an enforcement agency that cuts the core training, that doesn't make them stronger, that makes them fragile. And when you lower training standards, you're not going to produce better outcomes. You know, we learned a couple months ago that they were so desperate for new hires that they were bringing in people who couldn't even read by reports, a guy who weighed almost 500 pounds. And that's, I'm not saying that, oh my God, it's a fat guy. He wasn't cleared medically to do anything. This was someone who was so obese. And somehow he was advancing through the training process because they're so desperate. So on the one hand, they're desperate to bring in anyone, and then they're not even getting the training that they should be getting. That is a major problem. Now, finally, there is a governance issue here. Whistleblowers usually don't speak out publicly unless they believe that the internal channels aren't working. And so when you hear from Ryan Schwenk, we have to guess, at least potentially, he's doing it because the internal channels for saying, hey, this isn't okay, aren't working, or his complaints were completely ignored. Now, I think that the final part of this is, will this testimony even lead to an investigation? Or does Kristi Noem, quite frankly, not give a damn?
She don't give no shits.
Because it seems as though this is the protocol. Like, if you go to Kristi Noem and you go, hey, did you know they cut out 240 hours of training and they're explaining to people how to get beyond the lack of a judicial warrant? You've got to investigate. Kristi Noem would probably go, no, yeah, that's what we want them to do. They're doing what we want them to do. And so then where do you go? And just a reminder, this is another reason why taking back control of the House from Republicans in November is important. We might not be able to get Kristi Noem fired. We might not be able to get the policy changed. But congressional investigative authority can make a lot of these people's lives a living hell, and they certainly deserve it. Thanks for watching. Check out.
Interesting.
When the price of
This
things
is a pretty
is
wild.
over.
That's her trying to explain inflation, bro. That shit was
too expensive
wild.
because of the.
All right, there is just no way this clip is real. There is no way this is a real Republican representative. But
Love
alas,
her.
Republican Lauren Boebert went on Piers Morgan Uncensored and created a very embarrassing viral moment where she's asked.
I love that because they were all freaking out about AOC's flub, and this is like so much worse.
What is inflation? Just a very simple question. What is inflation? And she stutters and stumbles her way through the answer for almost 30 seconds and still doesn't even get it right. These are the people who are defending.
What, with AOC? I think she was asked, I can't remember even what it was. It was like about Iran or something, and she just sounded like a retard. Oh, not AOC? With Lauren Boebert? I mean, he's going to show the clip. He's going to show the clip. You'll see it for yourself. It's pretty
Trump's
retarded.
tariffs and claiming that they don't cause inflation. These are the people who are like.
He's just asking. Literally, all he does is he asks her a question about what is inflation. There's not even like any real cliff notes.
Taking credit for Joe Biden's projects, even though they had nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Lauren Boebert actually literally did that. Joe Biden had a great infrastructure project that she did not vote for, and then after it turned out very, very well, she took credit for this infrastructure project. Yet she doesn't even know what inflation means. Probably doesn't even know what budget means.
Oh,
and
no
this
worries.
may be one of the most embarrassing things I've seen come out of a congressman since that one congressman.
Yeah, where you been? We missed ya.
Was groping her boyfriend in a movie theater. Wait a minute, that was also Lauren Boebert in Colorado.
Oh.
Lauren Boebert is so incredibly embarrassing, and she is that Marjorie Taylor Greene
Fucking
strain
embarrassing.
of, you know, MAGA congresswoman, or the old Marjorie Taylor Greene before she changed. I also really quickly want to point out,
nice,
just
cool.
yesterday, Lauren Boebert was the one who leaked a photo from Hillary Clinton's House Oversight closed-door deposition. Advisors to Hillary Clinton say the House Oversight Committee's closed-door deposition has been paused after somebody sent a photo to right-wing journalist Benny Johnson. Then we get the photo.
Oh yeah,
and they're released.
this was crazy. By the way, Benny Johnson's response to this made me lose my fucking mind. They, like, snuck a fucking photo out of there that they were not supposed to do. And his response was fucking crazy. Let's see, where is it? Let me find it. God, this guy is such a dick suck. And he's like completely retarded too. Let me find it. Nuclear! What's up? Good to see you. How you doing? Let's see. Huh? You got community noted. No worries, bud. How is everything going? Oh yeah, did you have lobster? He says, I cannot believe this is happening. Hillary Clinton just stormed out of the Epstein deposition because I posted a photo. Oh, so innocent. I posted a photo of her testifying. Now the Clinton PR team is crying about me to the press. This is insane! Deposition is being filmed and will be released in full. Hillary wanted it to be done live on TV. Representative Boebert gave me permission to post a photo she took before the hearing started with credit. Hillary is trying to get out of answering questions about Epstein because of a picture. Does this sound desperate to you? It's a closed hearing, you retarded, subhuman, fucking single-digit IQ fuck. She didn't storm out. The deposition was paused, but it was found out that a photo was taken by Lauren Boebert and leaked by Benny Johnson because it violated the House Oversight Committee rules. You fucking retard. I hate this guy so much. Hillary Clinton storming out. Source, I made it the fuck up. True. Also, what's up, Cryptic? Nuclear, how are things, like, what, I'm curious, like, what's the temperature like in the army right now? What's everything like in there? Hey, bud. Good to see ya. How are people feeling about Trump and everything? Are there a lot of Trumpers there, or like, how is it?
And the name tag Representative Boebert is front and center. So we didn't even have to guess or do an investigation. We just knew that Lauren Boebert was the one who leaked this.
She's so stupid. She's so stupid. She took a photo she wasn't supposed to take where her literal fucking name tag is right in front of the camera. Oh my god, you can't make this shit up.
This is awful, and as someone points out, this is a massive violation of protocol, and the Clintons now have every right to suspend their cooperation with the committee. Representative Boebert should be immediately barred from any additional participation in this. and kicked off the committee. Egregious breach of protocol. Well, guess
Like,
what?
no, but, like,
Lauren Boebert
actually,
faced no
seriously.
accountability, and the
How
clever part
is she, like,
Hillary
still
Clinton
allowed
actually
to take
sat
part
back
in
down
this?
and finished her deposition. Why? Because this now gives them the high ground. This gives Democrats the precedent. As always, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed if you appreciate the
Are we
videos
back?
that we bring.
Going to be joined briefly by
Are we
Republican
back?
Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. Thank you very much indeed for joining me back on
We're
Uncensored.
good?
What was your view of the speech last night?
Okay.
I did think that
Lauren Boebert, the hand job during Beetlejuice play. Yes. I would assume there isn't much political discussion in the military because, like any workplace, it would interfere with bonding and morale. Probably. Yeah, you're probably right. I am just curious, though, if there's anything, like, he's noticed or anything, because, you know, my curiosity is getting the better of me. Same Lauren Boebert who was live tweeting out the location of lawmakers during January 6th. You betcha. And now she's about to look super retarded on Piers. Watch this, guys. Every single person watching this stream, drop what you're doing and watch this. I have pre-watched this clip, okay? So my reaction is not going to be live. But trust me, this is worth it.
Drop a like and subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed if you appreciate the videos that we bring.
Going to be joined briefly by Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. Thank you very much indeed for joining me back on Uncensored. What was your view of the speech last night?
I did think that this was a very successful speech by President Trump. The State of the Union is always lively in one way or another. But also, I would like to contrast what some of your panelists there are saying. Mr. Cohen is saying that President Trump is focusing on the issues that Americans are not. I would argue that illegal immigration and legal immigration are part of the affordability crisis that we are seeing in America. Under Joe Biden and the one-party Democrat rule,
The one-party Democrat rule. Get the
decimated
fuck
our
out of here.
economy, overrun our schools, overrun our hospitals, and is really siphoning and stealing.
She gets out her MAGA talking points, but just wait. Wait until she is asked about what inflation means. It is perhaps the worst
Get
thing I've
ready for
ever
this,
seen come from a
friends.
congresswoman.
Get ready
An
for this.
issue that is focused on affordability. President Trump came in and secured the southern border. No illegal aliens are coming in, and he is working to deport
No
those who
illegals.
are overrunning our system and who are committing
0%
fraud. It is a crime to be
illegals.
here illegally.
If you want to talk about fraud,
True
you can list the
cryptic.
massive amount of Republicans that have committed fraud.
The benefits of the American taxpayer. So this will make things more affordable when we start getting these people who are taking advantage of our generosity and
Lauren
American
Boebert.
Yeah. Okay, it's about to get to the point.
All right, here we go.
These programs that are in place to help our most vulnerable.
Okay, so let me just do a quick Q&A with you.
Here we go.
What
Here
is
we go.
inflation?
Here we go.
Well, inflation is when the price of things is over is too expensive of the federal government really squandering the tax dollars. So you have the Green New Scam, hundreds of
I'm
billions.
sorry, but that was...
Well, I kind of want to write this down. I want to write this down, this answer, so I can remember, guys, because I need to know what inflation is, okay? What the fuck? Okay. Well, that didn't work well. New. Okay, let's write this down, guys. Let's make sure, because we want to remember, all right? We need to make sure we know what inflation is, okay?
Inflation.
Well, inflation is when the price of things is over is too expensive because of the federal government really squandering the tax dollars. So you have the Green New Scam, hundreds of.
I'm sorry, but that was so incredibly brutal. Let me just play this cleanly for you one time. This is the.
Okay. When the price of things is too expensive because of the federal government really squandering the tax dollars. That's what inflation is. That's our definition of inflation, guys. Don't ever get it twisted, okay? So next time somebody asks, all right, you know what inflation is. You can answer. And we thank Lauren Boebert. Absolutely, neighbor Ernie.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
The worst part of that is the kid said you want him to do you so much that you could do anything. Oh, poor guy. That kid is a full-grown adult now, and he's just got to live with that. I wonder, did we ever catch up with him? Did the internet ever catch up with him? Ah. Here he is.
I accidentally became a meme, and this is that story. My name is Joe Sergio, and you may know me from this meme.
Have you ever had a dream that you had?
This all started in the year 1999. I was 5 years old. My favorite thing to do when I was a kid was watch fantasy action stuff, you know, Dragon Ball Z, Power Rangers. I liked all the Disney stuff. Hercules came out around the summer before I went into kindergarten, and I definitely watched it a lot. I really liked the soundtrack, especially Zero to Hero.
Zero to Hero!
That was a tune. One day, my mom reached out to me and said, "Do you want to be in a movie?" There was a few schools that they filmed at for this HBO production. The reason
he does. That's true.
In part,
this is already better to listen to.
Manager, their kid was in my class or in one of the kindergarten classes. At first, I really had no idea what this production was about. They had repurposed one of the bigger classrooms to look sort of like a nursery. There's lights, there's cameras. I picked up pretty early on that it was about bedtime stories and rituals because that was what the people interviewing us were interested in. So they were asking us guiding questions to that effect. The red sweater, the haircut, that was like all my mom. She really wanted me to get on TV.
He's wearing the red sweater, and he's got the haircut.
There wasn't anyone that I would consider a rival per se, but there were kids that were even better at getting the attention of the producers. And based on a promise I made to my mother in the car this morning that I was definitely going to get on TV.
This is a whole
I kind of had
rabbit
a
hole
sense
to
that
fall
time was
down
running out,
one
and I
day.
didn't get as much talking time as compared with the other kids on my panel. And then they asked me about dreams. I remember this one scene from Hercules where Hercules searches out for Pan, who's Danny DeVito's character. He doesn't want to train anybody anymore, and he's a failure, so that's when Hercules comes in and tries to persuade him about a dream. Have you ever had a dream? I've had a dream that I wanted so much that I could do anything. And once he said that, it really resonated with Pan, and Pan said, "Okay, fine, I'm going to train you," and the rest is history. So that was when I came in with my Hail Mary speech about dreams. Suffice to say, I didn't come even close to what Hercules had to say about dreams.
Have you ever had a dream that
I'm thinking a little bit slower than how I'm talking, which tends to happen. So But I'm kind of hoping that if I have the beginning and the end of that speech down, everything else was going to kind of fall into place.
you want him to do you so
Oh,
much
no.
anything?
So as everyone likes to point out, my signature lean back and smile.
It's
is
like
just
Bush.
I totally nailed that.
It's like George Bush when he gets a sentence right. And he's like...
If memory serves me, the reaction in the room was very deadpan and professional by the interviewers. So they just kind of let me talk, like, oh, okay, yeah, dreams, sure, like, you know, run with that. And oh, you know, we're all set here, Joe, like that was great, you know, good job. I wasn't too sure whether they were gonna use anything that I said, but I definitely felt like what I said was really, really compelling. I didn't
all I
hear
can
much
really
follow-up
do,
about the movie.
all I can really do is like the laugh and the look. I can't, well, you know, taking out the terrorizers. Yeah, see, it doesn't sound right, but I can do the laugh in the face. That's about it.
Until it was time to go see the premiere in New York. And so it was this big fancy hall that HBO booked out. And
Evildoers. With the evildoers, we're taking them out.
And they invited.
I'd probably
all the
say
kids that had a
evildoers.
speaking part. It was kind of a red carpet moment, and I enjoyed watching the production and all my other friends that talked. then my part is an outtake at the end of the movie. The whole audience is laughing at me. With the benefit of hindsight, I think they were more so laughing with me, but I didn't feel that at the time. I actually was so upset with the producers. I actually blamed them. I thought that they had manipulated the film in some way to make it look like I stammered.
No.
I didn't even accept that I had stammered on the camera, which isn't true, but it's just to say I wasn't necessarily a good sport about that, especially because for the rest of my childhood and early teenage years, that was always going to be shown at most family reunions. Anyone in my family that wanted to get a VHS or a DVD of that documentary got it, and they all reveled in my part. And I just kind of want that swept under the rug. I want to get past it. And it was more or less buried. And then one of my friends reaches out to me in high school and he says, dude, I can't believe it. Somebody circulated the clip of your video. Eventually someone put that on YouTube and it started to get momentum. It was in the tens of thousands to the hundreds of thousands of views. The last time I looked on YouTube at the original post, it's about 76 million views. And that's just
You gotta get some fucking money for that, dog.
YouTube. So now I want to take this opportunity to say what I meant to say that time. Have you ever had a dream that was so palpable?
You were not gonna say that as a kid. Shut the fuck up.
So crucial.
Shut the fuck up.
To your goals and your aspirations that you would do absolutely anything to accomplish it.
He had his chance with the
I've had that dream,
NFT craze.
and this is my story.
He really should have ended that with saying, have you ever had a dream that was so palpable that he could do you so much that you could do anything? Girl evil smiling away from the fire made bank. Good for her. Good for her.
And this is true all over the country. There's a lot of good food in grocery stores that goes away. Most of the cheap cuts of meat are very inexpensive.
Overly Attached Girlfriend did a whole bunch of stuff, and like, fair enough. Like, listen, I always thought Overly Attached Girlfriend was hot. Okay, I don't know if that makes me crazy.
If you buy a porterhouse steak or a strip steak, it is gonna set you back. You can buy liver or the cheaper cuts of steak that are very, very affordable.
Wow.
And
Yep, everybody wants to eat fucking liver, bro.
This is the clip that has millions and millions of views. Oh my lord.
What is inflation?
She was pretty. I would let her get obsessed over me.
Well,
Yeah,
inflation
true.
is when the price of things is over is too expensive because of the.
I wish this was short enough to have as a soundbite, but it's not, unfortunately.
Federal government really squandering the tax dollars. So you have the Green New Scam, hundreds of billions of dollars spent there to provide affordable energy. And it was not affordable. It was never free. It was never discounted. That money was taken from there.
Piers is like, Lauren, shut up. God damn it.
What an awful, awful answer. The real answer is just very simple.
Disaster
You're an
girl,
econ
yeah.
major. You don't even have to go in depth. It's
500K,
just a
good
general
for her,
increase in
man.
prices for services or goods and services over time. And the reality is there is a healthy level of inflation for an economy. A lot of Republicans think that it's healthy when prices go down, or that prices should be going down, or that inflation should be zero. But no, there is a
it should be
healthy
wages
level
that
of
catch up to
inflation that the Fed
inflation
wants
is what
to
should be
reach,
happening.
and we have just been ahead, above
True,
that inflation
neighbor
level
me.
for a while now. Let's
True.
continue with this clip.
Billions of dollars spent there to provide affordable energy, and it.
I don't ever want to hear Lauren Boebert say the word affordable, say the word energy. She doesn't even know the fundamentals of what she's talking about. It's like trying to teach calculus, but then someone asks you what's 1 + 1.
Dude, I have got to absolutely and entirely give it to Adam Mockler. What a fucking stud. This man has just skyrocketed. This kid has just skyrocketed. And good for him. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a good debater. Like, I like him a lot. I really do. Did you watch him with Hassan? Bro, he was awesome. He made Hassan look like a weak little fucking bitch who won't stand by anything he believes in. It was great.
And you start to stutter and say, well, 1 + 1, it could equal a few things. I mean, there's a few things that could equal. That undermines everything else that you're saying on this subject. If you don't know what inflation is, if you don't know how to define it, how are we going to trust you on energy prices or on affordability or on any of these things? If you don't know what inflation is, how...
He's Candy's favorite. She knew it before the rest of us. She knew he was going to go far.
How are you going to defend Donald Trump's tariffs as non-inflationary? If she can't understand a concept as simple as inflation, she definitely does not understand what tariffs are.
Was not affordable. It was never free. It was never
I
discounted.
think I think that was fine, Cryptic. I think he didn't want to go too hard. That wasn't his goal. His goal wasn't to humiliate Hassan. His goal was to show Hassan his own hypocrisy in a way that might allow him to publicly change his positions so that we could potentially bring him closer to us and use him in a better way. I think what he did was very intelligent. I understand people wanted the blood sports and they are mad at Hassan and they want to see somebody like take him down. But I mean, Adam honestly is kind of, his approach was more mature than all those people. And the Doge meme, almost $3 million. Whew.
Was taken from the American people and forced into the system. It wasn't a free market decision.
Yeah, so my follow-up question was this. We both agree America still has inflation.
Yeah.
We both agree that means prices are going up. And it seems to me the big problem President Trump has is that notwithstanding that the US economy is in pretty good shape, the average American knows that prices aren't actually coming down. There's still inflation. They are still going up, not at the same rate they were going up, but they are still rising. Do you think that is a problem here for the president?
Wait, like he's literally saying, can you just double check essentially?
There is a saying that Ronald Reagan presented saying that there is no such thing as a temporary federal program. There's nothing more permanent than a temporary federal program. And I think that same principle applies here.
Man, she really was just, she had her brains.
That's not how this works, retard. Countries and companies. 0 countries, all companies. Here's the comment now, according to this decision, could actually continue to do so and increase level. I'm sure the Supreme Court did not have this in mind. Bro, they're a lot smarter than you. Doesn't make sense that countries and companies that took advantage of us for decades. Oh my god, dude. This is so stupid. This is like a child asking their parent to reconsider. From Adam's side, I think he did fine. It's just really annoying how Hassan hides his power level. I think Adam knows Hassan is an extremist, but there wasn't a good opportunity to call him out in the conversation. I think Adam did really well, honestly. I think he went in with like a goal, and he achieved that goal. To overrule the Supreme Court, Trump establishes new ultra supreme mega court. Adam could have done the funniest thing ever and asked Hassan about the baby settlers, but I get that wasn't that type of conversation. Yeah. I going into it, like I was expecting and looking for like a beatdown, but after I saw like how Adam was approaching it, I was like, you know what? Good for you. Like this is a good approach. How they're acting like they might not have to refund it, despite that literally being their argument for why the terrorists didn't need an emergency stay. Yeah, it's not gonna go over well. Babylon B is trash. Occasionally they make a funny. That was one of their headlines. Oh, huh, huh, huh.
Scrambled during this interview. She could barely get out a Reagan quote.
Yes, there are places that we had to raise prices to deal with this inflation under the previous administration, and it's hard to get those prices back down. And many
She's
companies, many small
literally,
businesses are
she is literally just a talking point like record. Like she doesn't have any original thoughts of her own. She just needs to know her talking points so she can spout them. The second they try to get her to go off script, it's just fucking nonsense.
still trying to recoup from that. But also, we still have a federal government that is
The other funny thing
spending
Adam
far
could have
too
done
much
is
money.
ask Hassan to
That's
show
why I
him
was a
pictures
big
of
supporter
Hassan
of the
took him
Doge
filling out his
cuts,
ballot for the
and
last
we did
election.
not cut
Yeah,
near
he said he took pictures, right? He said he took pictures.
enough of what we could have. I think it would be great in the next term if Republicans.
It's not that we didn't cut nearly enough, it's that Doge didn't cut anything. It's that every single policy Donald Trump has enacted has been inflationary, has increased the debt, and has hurt the average worker. Just every single policy he has passed, from the tariffs, which wreaked economic
Every
havoc
single
on small
one.
businesses, while Trump claimed that large businesses were benefiting. Well, it turns out, as the Supreme Court is ruling, they were illegal, and Donald Trump may have to return about $150 billion to businesses, to small businesses.
Oops.
So this proves a few things. No, Trump didn't bring $18 trillion in that he has to return. There was no $18 trillion. It was about $150 billion that hurt small businesses. Then the Doge cuts and the big
It
ugly
wasn't
bill. All
even
of these
that
things
much,
in tandem
dude.
only
Like,
make the rich
it was
richer
not as
while
much as they're
hurting the
pretending
poor,
it was.
hurting anyone in America who is slightly vulnerable, hurting the middle class, hurting the vast majority of people who are not in what we call the Epstein class. So I'm going to leave it there.
Epstein
Lauren Boebert is
class. I kinda
obviously,
love that.
obviously not too sharp, but this is what Republicans are these days. I'll see you all in the next video. Love you all.
That's so nice of you not to
when
call her
they-
fucking retarded, bro, because that's what she is. Okay.
President Clinton, in his opening, made the most important statement. No one is above the law. And he made it clear that it was perfectly appropriate for the committee to call him and ask him tough questions about what happened. He also made it clear that it was totally inappropriate for this committee to call Secretary Clinton. That's why personally I didn't even show up yesterday. I thought it was outrageous the way they treated Secretary Clinton. She has nothing to do with this. But President Clinton answered the questions. I think you'll see when we have the deposition that our side that put the survivors first. We had our members, our lawyers ask questions to get the basic facts and asked difficult questions, and the president answered.
What up,
They were
Daniel?
civil.
Best I could do is a gallon of milk in a
Followed
Ziploc
5 years,
bag.
for the precedent that President Trump needs to now come and answer these questions. That Howard Lutnick needs to answer these questions. That other people part of the Epstein class who've been in these files need to come before this committee and ask these questions. And then that's the only way we're going to have accountability and healing.
Thank you. As you heard, President Clinton in his opening statement said that America was built on the idea that no person is above the law, even presidents, especially presidents. And the Democratic members of the Oversight Committee feel the same. No one is above the law, and anyone with knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein's crimes should absolutely come before the committee to give testimony about what they saw or did. Who was there? Who was involved? Survivors like Charlene Richard, who was my State of the Union guest, deserve the accountability and the truth. The American people deserve accountability and truth. That means a complete release of the files.
Clinton set a good precedent here now in the future. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about this. I agree. And he's gonna look mighty stupid.
Bill Gates,
If
Larry
he
Summers,
refuses.
and yes, even and especially Donald Trump.
Where our state has taken action where the federal government has failed, we have reopened an investigation through our state attorney general into the crimes committed by Jeffrey Epstein and his associates in New Mexico.
Jeffrey
as well as
Epstein.
passed the first state-level truth commission in this case ever passed in the history of the United States. We will be working very closely to make sure that the state is able to make a full accounting of the crimes in New Mexico. With regards to today's deposition, I want to be clear at the outset that President Clinton, as of today, has not been accused of a crime. There are not public files available that accuse him of a crime, whereas there are publicly available documents that do allege a crime of President Trump. But it is very well established that President Clinton had a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and we are treating this investigation extraordinarily seriously. And when you see the recorded deposition, you will see that we asked all of the hard questions centering the survivors, making sure that we get to the bottom of where there are discrepancies in the record, and understanding how not only the crimes that Jeffrey Epstein committed could go on, but why there was a culture that surrounded him wherein the rich and powerful turned a blind eye.
First off, I just thank you to President Clinton for coming here today to speak with us. Answering these questions has been helpful for us as we will continue this investigation. Donald Trump, as we know, needs to come before this committee. He's been caught in multiple lies as it relates to his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. I can tell you I've seen unredacted files myself that directly refute his assertion that he kicked out Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago and the reasoning why he did that. Also, walking out of this, I can tell you we all now have a lot of new questions that we have to raise as it relates to the reasoning on why Donald Trump had a falling out with Jeffrey Epstein in the first place. Another thing is that I saw about an hour ago, Donald Trump in a press conference said that Howard Lutnick is, quote, a very innocent guy.
So innocent.
Trump has asserted many times that he knew
Really, like, the most innocent, quite frankly. I've never seen anybody quite so innocent.
of Epstein's crimes. If he doesn't know anything about Epstein's crimes, how can he know for sure that Howard Lutnick is, quote, a very innocent guy? We have questions for him. And I think what today is showing and what yesterday is showing is, of course, no one's above the law. That includes the President of the United States. And my hope is that our Republican colleagues, as we walk out of here today and go back to D.C., will join us in making sure that we can hear from Howard Lutnick, from Pam Bondi, and from President Trump.
I think today was a historic day for transparency in the United States of America. The fact that we have the former President of the United States, Bill Clinton, under oath, speaking to the Oversight Committee and answering questions in a transparent manner is critical. I look forward to the Republican majority listening to our demands of having the transcripts and the videos unedited of both depositions, today's and yesterday's, released immediately, because the American public deserves to hear and see these answers for themselves. And ultimately, this demonstrates that nobody is above the law. And my top concern at this moment is the ongoing White House cover-up. It is deeply concerning that we are seeing a very coordinated machine from the President of the United States continuously repeating that he has been exonerated. He just repeated that today to members of the Republican Party on the Oversight Committee, repeating that lie as well. There are very credible allegations that have been looked into and investigated by the FBI, the Department of Justice, is illegally withholding. Please do not stop asking about this. Why is the DOJ continuing to defy the Epstein Files Transparency Act by refusing to release the full Epstein files, by illegally withholding information, by deleting photos and videos of people like Howard Lutnick? This is unacceptable. Donald Trump must be deposed immediately in front of this committee, as do many senior level officials from this administration.
If there was any doubt before today that Oversight Democrats are treating this investigation in a nonpartisan way, it'll be put to rest when the transcripts come out. We've been asking the former president the hard questions. To his credit, he has answered every single question. He's not taken the Fifth Amendment. He's been actually quite comfortable, and he's actually given very long, deliberate answers to all these questions. And so we appreciate the former president being here today, and we would like to see the current president come before us as well and give the same kind of transparency that President Clinton has given us today. And we're going to continue to demand the release of the files and continue to demand transparency of this administration.
President Clinton came here and answered tough questions. I think the victims and survivors, the American public deserve deserve a serious investigation, because thus far what we're seeing from Republicans is a very non-serious, as one of my colleagues referred to it as a clown show. And having led serious investigations, I can't disagree when we hear members from the other side coming into a deposition with conclusions, get no evidence to support those conclusions, and then announce to the world that these conclusions must be true. That is unprofessional, it's unethical, and at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is get to the bottom of what actually happened so that we can...
Clinton did not plead the Fifth. Clown show indeed.
Democrats are doing that. The president and former First Lady have done that, and now it's time for President Trump to do the exact same thing. Under oath, not when you can just make statements randomly on X or Truth Social, but under oath where your right hand is in the air and there are consequences if you don't tell the truth. And so we're going to continue to push for transparency. We're going to continue to push for justice, because that's what the American people and the survivors deserve.
I want to just reiterate a couple things that have been made, which are important. The first is that we are thankful that President Clinton came in and answered tough questions from both the minority party and the majority party. We also think it's important to note that, and he made some of these statements in his opening statement, he made it clear once again that he does not understand, nor do we, why we spent so much time yesterday grilling Secretary Clinton when she obviously had no knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein and had never met Jeffrey Epstein. We also want to reiterate, and I think it's important for us to know, our call yesterday, because of transparency, it is so important that we continue to release both Secretary Clinton's deposition and President Clinton's deposition. Both of the Clintons are committed to these records getting out as soon as possible, and Oversight Democrats agree. The best way of going forward is for there to be transparency and a full public record, and we're demanding that that record not be edited, but just a full recording of what transpired yesterday, and what will continue to transpire today through the course of the day. And finally, let me just also say once again that we have a new precedent in this country where we can now demand president and former presidents to testify in front of the Oversight Committee. So we are once again demanding that now President Trump, who was in the Epstein files almost more than anyone else besides Ghislaine Maxwell, answer our questions. This is not a hoax. He has not been exonerated, and we have serious questions for President Trump. Well, with that, we'll answer a couple questions. Yeah, I think the best response to that is for you to view the complete record of what actually he said, which, look, we're not going to disclose what was said because it's not in the rules. The Republicans keep breaking the rules. But I think to what Mr. Frost said earlier, there was, I think that the President Clinton, did bring up some additional information about some discussions with President Trump. I think that the way Chairman Comer described it, I don't think is a complete accurate description of what actually was said. So let's release the full transcript so you can get a full record of what actually was said, which brings up some very important new questions about comments that President Trump has actually said in the past. Any other questions? I think everybody would agree that he's been very cooperative, and he's actually answering the questions fairly, I mean, to the best of his ability. He has not taken a pass on pleading the Fifth for any questions. He's been very thorough. He's been asked some questions multiple times over. I think you'll see that in the transcript. So he's been very cooperative, and in fact, I don't think he's given any sense that he's been uncomfortable to be there. In fact, I think he's been pretty interested in answering, I think, all the questions of both the Republicans and the Democrats. With that, we're going to wrap up. Everyone's going to break, and then we'll continue. Thank you very much.
Well, our deposition of former President Clinton has concluded. I want to thank everyone for braving the cold and staying out here. I know it's been a very long day. We believe this was a very productive deposition. I will have to say that President Clinton answered every question, or attempted to answer every question. We can talk about some of his answers in more detail, and I'm sure once the video is released and the transcript's released, not only will you, but a lot of people in America will have more questions about some of the answers that were given and where we go from here. But with respect to today, this was a long process, and I want to say this was historical. I believe that in the history of Congress, the two highest ranked officials to ever be deposed by Congress would be President Bill Clinton and Secretary of State.
This happened to be the Republicans thought they had her trapped, but in
This is a
reality,
serious
they were trapped in the room with her.
We will continue to try to get the truth to the American people and justice for the victims. But I think a consistent
Watchmen
theme
reference.
continues to persist throughout all the people that we bring in. Obviously, the government failed the victims. There was justice was not served in Palm Beach when Epstein was first arrested. We're very concerned about that. We still have lots of questions about how Epstein accumulated so much wealth, and we will continue to bring some more people in and try to get answers. I'm going to yield to the other committee members, but every member of the committee participated both days and asked very good questions. Ms. May?
Yes, I want to thank President Clinton for being here today. He was here for a very long day. He did attempt to respond to every single question asked, even when his attorneys told him to shut up. He kept, going. I think there's agreement too on everybody who was here on both sides of the aisle that we want to get to the bottom of this. Whether Jeffrey Epstein was an intel asset or honeypot operation, sex trafficker, prostitution ringleader, financier of Ponzi schemes, financial crimes, etc. There is an effort, I believe, and a belief that we need to get to the bottom of this because justice was not served in the Southern District of New York. It was not served in Palm Beach, and it certainly hasn't been served for many victims around the world who were victims of this operation. I want to thank my colleagues on both sides of the aisle for their questions today. Representative Stansberry had a lot of courageous questions. She showed bravery today. She and I never get along. Sometimes, in fact, can be seen arguing an oversight. But I say that because this is a place that is not partisan. This is a place where the country is seeing Republicans and Democrats work together to figure this out, find the truth, and try to come up with solutions so that when this happens, women are believed, men are prosecuted, their abusers are prosecuted, and justice can be seen and can be done.
Fuck
and
yeah,
I want to thank
bro.
everyone for their hard work. I think
Fuck
I
yeah.
can't say anything about the questions and answers today or yesterday, but I will comment that I believe you'll see some inconsistencies in some of the responses. I brought that to the forefront this afternoon. Thank you.
I'd like to close by saying that we do intend to follow up and bring in, and I know that that's up to the chairman's discretion, but some of the co-conspirators that were given lesser sentences that were known to have trafficked young girls. Unacceptable. There's a difference between a victim and someone who engaged in prostitution and the trafficking of minors, and that needs to be clarified. I will again hold to the same thing that I said earlier, and that I do believe, and I'm sure some people on this committee also believe, that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset and running some form of a honeypot operation. I do believe that President Clinton, as well as the Secretary, were potentially targets of that operation, and we will leave it at that, and I look forward to seeing you all react to the depositions, as I think that this is information that's important and belongs to the American people.
I want to reiterate what some of my colleagues said. I want to salute our chairman, James Comer, for putting together an extremely professional deposition these last 2 days. Factual. This was not a highly partisan event like most of our hearings are when we're in Washington. We were there to answer direct questions. I think President Clinton today was quite candid, probably more candid than his attorneys were comfortable with. But I think that this will, obviously when we release the video of this, you'll have the opportunity to digest it. But we do have to get justice for the victims, because in all of the political food fight of Washington, D.C., what is getting lost is the fact that there are victims that deserve justice.
Damn right.
depositions like this are important because we need to get answers and
Right.
justice for the victims. Epstein and his associates committed unspeakable evil, and I'm glad that President Clinton and Hillary came out here. What I believe I saw the last 2 days.
I love that yeah, people here say that. Yeah. I love that George Carlin used to call him Clinton.
I don't recall. So we have more questions to answer. Thank you.
Well, we're going to bring more people in. We're not finished. We didn't want to announce names before today. It was so hard to get the Clintons in. I didn't want to do anything to jeopardize losing them. I think we learned some things. We were
Clinton,
hoping to
exactly.
get more, but there were many questions, as you will see, hopefully in the next 24 hours when the videos were released, that there were a lot of very specific questions about very specific documents and correspondence that were subpoenaed by that we got from the Department of Justice, as well as the Epstein estate. Many times the Clintons couldn't recall or didn't know or denied that they were pertaining to them. So, but I do think that we picked up some new facts. We asked both Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton where we should go from here as a committee, because we're sincere about trying to get
Look
the
at
truth to
that.
American people and hold some bad actors
Okay.
accountable in this. We're trying. We've got one.
Ah, that sounds like Republicans were real disappointed then. They're asking the Clintons for help on what to do next. They definitely did not get what they wanted out of that.
Employee that does the videography, and he had to do the videography today too. So we're going to try to release those. Yeah. Well, the transcript has to be approved by the attorney. So the video could very likely come out before the transcripts. Once the transcribers were in here, we had a whole team of transcribers. They're going to put it on paper. Then both sides will get to approve the transcripts. Then we'll release it. That's standard rules of deposition. We always do that. We will do that with the videos as quick as we can get them all uploaded and cleaned up, any background noise or anything like that. Then we will release them hopefully in the next 24 hours. Well, we have a lot of questions about anyone who spent time with Epstein post conviction, the first conviction. I think that's where, and if anyone disagrees, feel free to speak up. But I think that's where most of our concerns are. Once you knew Jeffrey Epstein was a sex offender, why did you continue a relationship? So stay tuned on that.
CBS News legal reporter Katrina Coughlin joins me now. Hi there, Katrina. So what more do we know about former President Clinton's testimony?
Elaine, we know that former President Bill Clinton was questioned for over 5 hours, including about photos that came out in the Epstein files. There's that photo of Bill Clinton. He's in a hot tub with a woman. He was asked about her. He said that he didn't recall who she was. And when questioned, he said that he did not have sex with her. There is
No way! We've come full circle. Bill Clinton is back in Congress talking about how he did not have sexual relations with somebody. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? That's incredible. That's just wonderful. It is perfect. I did not have sexual relations with that prostitute. Jeffrey, okay. He was the one having sexual relations the whole time. I didn't even know her, to be completely honest with you. She was unknown to me. Surely this time, no sexual relations.
former President Bill Clinton said about President Trump during this deposition. Now, what James Comer has said, Representative James Comer, is that Clinton said it's for you to decide, to the committee, whether to call in President Trump, that he said Trump had never said anything to him that made him think he was involved with or had any wrongdoing with
Wait, what the fuck is what?
Jeffrey Epstein. Now, what Representative Robert Garcia said is that this is a mischaracterization. They should release this, which they ultimately will, so the public can decide for themselves. There was also some talk about what their falling out was over between President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Representative Maxwell Frost posted on X.
Oh, this one? Destiny Milkarino?
Trump had said the falling out was over a land dispute. Trump has previously said it was over Epstein's behavior. So we're getting some new information out of this, and ultimately we will all get to see what happened in there.
So what is next for this committee, Katrina? And do we know what the Clintons' testimony in particular will be used for?
You know, we don't know exactly, but all of this is part of an ongoing investigation. Of course, if there's ever any concern about potential perjury or further crimes or possible co-conspirators, those will be pursued. We don't yet know who else they will call, but there's been talk about Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who appeared in photographs with Jeffrey Epstein, who said he went to his island. Representative Anna Maria Luna, after this deposition, also said that they were planning to bring in other co-conspirators who were not charged, that they need to be brought to justice. So this is going to continue. This is not the end of this investigation. It feels like we're really still towards the beginning.
All right, Katrina, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katrina. You're named after one of the worst hurricanes in our history.
I think it really matters that we're hearing from members of both caucuses, both Democrats and Republicans, about what the people that they represent need. We also have, I think, through this budget shown that in spite of those incredible challenges, in spite of those incredible expenses that Washington state taxpayers are now being asked to bear, we have still managed to put forward a budget that prioritizes the people of our state.
Trying so hard.
I am grateful to all the members of this committee and all the members of the House for putting forward their ideas and making sure that the operating budget that we've put forward does not forget that the people that we are working to represent, the people that we are working to lift up and support, don't always have a voice in this process. Their voice is carried forward by the members of this body. Every public employee in this state can rely on retirement security guaranteed by the state of Washington, both because of the decisions of courts in years past, but also because of the decisions of the legislature to make sure that those pension plans are fully funded and that are the envy of every state in the country.
Oh no. Oh no. That's rough. Neighbor Rooney was showing a also, hey Candy! It was a representative from Washington who was drunk on the job. Legislator.
The steady drumbeat of questions around Donald Trump's relationship with the deceased sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is only getting louder today as a former American president is being deposed under oath, because the former president can be made to testify. Why not the president who appears tens of thousands of times in the Epstein files? At this moment, the House Oversight Committee is sitting down with former
Why
President
not
Bill
that
Clinton.
guy?
Here's what we know.
I don't know him, frankly, but if he appears tens of thousands of times in the Epstein files, we should probably depose him.
Ties between Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein. Flight logs show that President Clinton took 4 flights on Jeffrey Epstein's plane between 2002 and 2003. Former President Clinton has appeared in photos with Jeffrey Epstein. Clinton's name appears in the birthday book compiled for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th, with a note allegedly from
Not
Bill
yet.
Clinton. The former president has not been accused of any wrongdoing related to Jeffrey Epstein, and in his testimony today, Clinton says he stopped associating with him but long before Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to prostitution charges in Florida in the year 2008. The former president posted his opening statement to the committee on X.
Honestly, they were just prostitutes. They were probably voting Democrat. I don't even like those people. Why should we listen to what they have to say? They're lying Dems.
Called the committee out for bringing in his wife, Hillary Clinton. That statement reads in part, quote, "Before we start, I have to get personal. You made Hillary come in. She had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein, nothing. She has no memory of even meeting him. She neither traveled with him nor visited any of his properties.
Standing up for
Whether
his
you
wife
subpoenaed 10
like
people or
a
10,000,
real man.
including her, was simply not right." Democrats on the House Oversight Committee say that former President Bill Clinton should testify, but so should anyone with any information about Jeffrey Epstein. Here's ranking member of the committee, Congressman Robert Garcia.
We have real questions that deserve serious answers from
Hey,
former
Aurora.
President Clinton. And we have said from day one that Democrats want to talk to anyone, whether they are a Republican or a Democrat. No matter
Oh, yeah,
how powerful they are,
100%
whatever
cryptic.
position that they've been in. If anyone
Our
has
bill to drop the DUI limit to .05 did make it out of committee in the House this year after passing the Senate. How interesting. What? Why are we trying to drop the DUI limit? Why? It just seems like a not amazing idea. Oh, sorry. For some reason, my brain was thinking raise, not lower. Little brain fart there.
has information about Jeffrey Epstein and certainly the horror that he inflicted on so many.
I know this is a very serious topic, but it definitely just sounded like dude said, and the horror that he inflicted.
Jeffrey Epstein and certainly the horror that he inflicted on so many women and children. We want to hear from them. Republicans have now set a new precedent, which is to bring in presidents and former presidents to testify. So we're once again going to make that call that we did yesterday. We are now asking and demanding that President Trump officially come in and testify in front of the Oversight Committee. He appears in the Epstein files next to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell almost more than anybody else.
No one is more uncomfortable with Bill Clinton testifying than Donald Trump. Here's what he had to say about it this morning.
Are you concerned at all about President Bill Clinton being deposed and that sets precedent for you and your family?
I don't like seeing him deposed, but they certainly went after me a lot more than that. I don't like seeing him. Look, I like him, and I don't like seeing him deposed.
I like Bill, quite frankly. You know, they tell me he really likes women, some of them on the younger side. Okay, I heard about how he had this woman, Monica, I think her name was.
That just a few hours before Democratic Congressman Maxwell Frost revealed that Clinton undercut one of the claims Donald Trump has been making about Jeffrey Epstein. Frost tweeted this, quote, "President Clinton brought up a conversation he had with Donald Trump in New York City regarding Epstein. President Clinton said that Trump told him that he had a falling out with Epstein due to a land dispute. This directly refutes Donald Trump's claims about why he fell out with Epstein. In a tweet, the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee say this, quote, "President Clinton confirmed that he knew Trump and Epstein had a close relationship and said Trump reported having, quote, great times with Epstein. Clinton's deposition
Really
also
good
added
times,
to the
great
questions
times, quite
about
frankly.
whether Donald Trump's
Some of the
Commerce
best
Secretary, Howard
times.
Lutnick, should also testify. This photo appears to show Howard Lutnick with Jeffrey Epstein on Epstein's Island, along with a friend of Lutnick's, Michael Lerman.
On
This photo was
Epstein
removed from the
Island.
files by the Justice Department at some point and then restored last night. We cannot say definitively when this photo was taken, but emails show that Letnick, his wife, and their children, as well as Lerman, visited Jeffrey Epstein in 2012. Letnick admitted to that visit in a congressional hearing just a few months after he went on a podcast and said, quote, "I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or even philanthropy," end quote. I guess an island isn't a room. We have reached out to Letnick's associate, Michael, back with any comments.
The shade.
A former president's deposition
She just threw
underscoring
him.
the need for those in Trump world to also come clean about any ties to deceased sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is where we start today. Ben Weider is here. He's an investigative reporter for the Miami Herald. We've been reading and talking about his coverage this week for the last couple days. We're happy he's here. Also joining us, former acting assistant attorney general for national security at the Justice Department, Mary McCord, is here. Our friend Danny Bensky, a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's, will join us at the table in a few minutes. Mary McCord, I'll start with you. Your thoughts about just how thorough.
Usually pressured Comer to not go after the Clintons, but I think he started off by thinking this whole thing would be good for him, like he thought the Clintons would be the fall guys. Yep. Not how it turned out.
Republicans would have wanted. I mean, Bill Clinton is testifying about Epstein and confirming that in his sworn testimony that Donald Trump told him that they had a falling out over real estate.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple of ways to look at it. Once the people are in the room, it does appear that the Democrats and the Republicans, well, are going to be asking a lot of questions. These depositions are going on for many hours, and I think the Democrats in particular are trying to, get some real answers and get to the bottom of things. And, maybe it's less about political theater than it might appear. But in terms of thoroughness, if you really wanted to, and I think maybe Hillary Clinton said something like this yesterday, right? If they really wanted to be thorough, I don't think they would be starting with someone like Hillary Clinton, who never appears in these files, who doesn't even know Jeffrey Epstein. And so you would really be looking through, like, who are the repeat players? Who are the ones we're seeing over and over again? Who are the ones referenced by other people? And let's talk to them. And so I feel like this has not been undertaken necessarily with a real goal of getting the most fulsome, and maybe this is the understatement in the world, maybe the most fulsome sort of record of what happened from the best possible witnesses, the people in a position that knew potentially or should have known or may have had some inkling of what Jeffrey Epstein was doing.
Ben, let me show you sort of the Howard Lutnick of all of this. Lutnick, Donald Trump's Commerce Secretary, who no outward-looking pressure, went on a podcast and lied this year as Donald Trump's current Secretary of Commerce, and then in more recent weeks, or after the files were released, go back before Congress and clean up his lie with an extraordinary statement. Let me show you both of those, and let's focus in on what today's hearing means for him.
So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on family vacation. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2012, I don't recall why we did it.
First of all, it's not like crossing the Delaware. I don't know what he means when he says, we went across.
Next amendment should just make Hillary the Attorney General, let her go.
We went, that is true, and we left with all my children,
that
with
would
my
be
nannies
wild.
and my wife. And
Holy shit.
The consciousness of exposure of risk, or
Jack Smith for
kidnapping,
sure.
or leaving behind, again, I want to quote him accurately, quote, all
He's
my
a
children
king.
and my nannies and my wife is so stunning. What do you hear when you hear the lie that Lutnick and the subsequent Clinton sort of fesses up to, and then the statement that while he was crossing, the Caribbean in a yacht, They stopped there for lunch. Maybe the chef was on a bathroom break. I mean, it's a ludicrous state of the story of Lutnick and Epstein.
I think the lying is one of the most remarkable aspects, and it's something I haven't really understood. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, I'm a reporter. I'm a person who is perhaps scrupulously honest and to a fault at times. But I don't understand it, especially, why you would say this when you know that there is material that could come out that would directly undercut what you said. I just don't understand.
Seriously.
And I think, it's interesting when you think about Howard Lutnick and the issues he's facing. No one has accused him of doing anything wrong in connection with Jeffrey Epstein. So why he would lie about this when there was,
don't look good
to do it, I just don't understand.
Doesn't look good. Looks pretty bad.
Well, on this matter, I would refer back to reporting from a few weeks ago that Donald Trump had in 2006 called the Palm Beach police chief around the time of Jeffrey Epstein's initial arrest, saying, hey, I'm glad you got the guy. Everyone knew what this guy was up to, and hey, Ghislaine Maxwell, she's evil. And has since subsequently for years denied that he had ever had any idea that they had done anything wrong, that Epstein had done anything wrong. I mean, the line
super
is
fucking
what's
weird.
really interesting here, because no one's accused Howard Lutnick, no one has accused Donald Trump, no one has accused, let's be clear, Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing in association with Jeffrey Epstein. But when you start lying publicly about what you knew, it
doesn't look good.
Raises all sorts of questions, and you don't have a lot of credibility on the issue.
Seriously. Looks quite bad.
Molly, starting with you, let's talk about the politics of this just for a first. We'll dive into the
that dipshit Howard Lutnick, the guy who did the over the top. I looked at my wife and said, "We will never be back here again." Yes,
last couple of days.
That is him.
That documents missing, interviews missing, ones that could potentially really embarrass, shall we say, President Trump, seems to be undermining any faith anyone had that the that the DOJ was conducting an impartial
it's like
investigation.
Found the theater.
With prolonging a very bad story.
Yeah, and I wonder if this administration's plan to just sort of ride it out is working. Because if you look at the UK, you have two different people, Peter Mandelson and the former Prince Andrew, both called in for questioning. You have the rest of, all of these European families, grappling with their appearance in the Epstein files. You have huge consequences around the world. You have the Norwegian ex-prime minister tried to kill himself. I mean, you really have, the rest of the world is taking this very, very seriously. And then our country, not so much. And I think that it's really, and even now you're starting to see the private sector.
Daniel Liddick is
wonder,
from
talk about
Chinese
consequences
community.
And people resigning. And I think that this is a really big story, and I just don't think you can wait it out.
Yeah, and certainly, I mean, the victims first and foremost should be front and center, but it is the politics story now. It is. And
the
Pablo,
victims.
I mentioned earlier, it's hard for the Department of Justice to suggest they are conducting a good faith investigation when they're flying
It's not.
Donald Trump's face on it in front of DOJ.
MAGA Daniel
in
despises
Washington.
Tiny.
So much of this seems to be trying to put their thumb on the scales and try to misdirect. Hey, look at the Clintons. And now we have these depositions later today.
Yeah, I often
that's true. They have.
Think of the bed of nails theory with Trump. There are so many controversies that can any single one puncture him. But in this case, this is contrary to his campaign promise, to the name of the law in question, which he signed. It's also contrary, frankly, to the very notion of, hey, we're going to generally really care about protecting women, about pedophilia, just like the very basic things that would be ostensibly very, very important to any, just like within the main administration. And so a question for Kurt Bardella, Kurt, you worked at the Republican House Oversight Committee. What is the tactic here? As this seems meaningful in the public view, but procedurally, what do you think happens here?
Yeah, I mean, really for Republicans, their goal was just to get the Clintons to do a closer deposition. That is what success looks like to Republicans on that committee. I think that this is a case where both Republicans and Democrats are actually going to walk away with something here. Democrats now have the precedent set that if they get back the reins of power in November and the power of the subpoena, the power of the gavel, the power to call hearings, they now can point to this action by Republicans, by James Comer, and say, hey, listen, no one's off limits anymore. Former president, member of the First Family, former Secretary of State, former U.S. Senator, former nominee for president.
You can now call them in for a deposition and ask the questions. And Democrats have been really
They
clear that if they
fucked
get
up.
that subpoena power back, then Chairman Robert Garcia is going to be subpoenaing Donald Trump. He's going to subpoena the people that Republicans seem reticent or unwilling to get answers for. We talked about that subpoena earlier that was bipartisan, getting as many people to answer questions as possible. The reality is Comer excused a number of those people from even having to testify. That's why the Clintons were very confused about why are they being asked to come in to do this? Well, people who had direct access to the investigation were allowed to just walk away, allowed to submit an affidavit and say, okay, we don't know anything, let's move on. It's very telling that Comer Republicans sat out the deposition.
Coomer, yep. I said that
Epstein.
earlier.
One Republican member went to that deposition, but a bunch of them are parading
And
out
I'm
to
mad
New York
about
today to be part of
Paramount.
This one doesn't add up.
I'm a little mixed on it. Obviously, Ellison family not good, but like I also live in Hollywood, and it's better for Hollywood, I think. So
Matthew, I mean, certainly the Clintons have said, well, we've got nothing to hide. We want it all to be in the public. They called for this to be in a public hearing. And there is at least a chance that Secretary of State Clinton will speak to reporters later today. Her team has advised that possibility to sort of explain what happened inside the deposition hall today. So talk to us about how you see today going, and indeed weigh in on that notion here that the Republicans may be inadvertently, setting a trap in some ways for President Trump.
Yeah, listen, Jonathan, I am a Republican. I'm still a conservative. And I think there are some very legitimate questions about what you said, justice for the hundreds, if not thousands, of girls that were trafficked, that were abused, as Molly said.
Good
We've
point.
seen in the UK now. Peter Mandelson, Prince Andrew being questioned. So now here with lingering questions around very powerful men in politics, in finance. Who do we go to? Hillary Clinton? I mean, come on now. This is just unbelievable. Do we think that this is tied to Whitewater? Do we think the Epstein files are in the White House travel office? This is more than political theater. I mean, this is theater of the absurd. So, I don't expect a lot. We play this card for decades now. Let's go right back to the Clintons. It ends up backfiring. And we will see what happens. I think Kurt probably just nailed it, which is, guess what? You just set a precedent for a future control of the Democratic House.
Yeah, Secretary Clinton has also proved herself to be quite adept in these kind of hearings in the past. Matthew, let's turn now to the State of the Union.
Who's giggling in the corner
this week? I mean, there's a limit to how much of a difference any speech could make. But there were some in the White House, some Republicans who hoped President Trump would take this opportunity, facing his biggest audience of the year, to kind of reset a little bit anyway on issues like the economy, suggest that, that he understands that things could get better. We didn't get any of that. We just got a lot of bluster saying it's the best economy we've ever faced. I don't know that it helped him or Republicans this fall. You also feel like, right, that he perhaps missed his moment?
Yeah, let's just be honest. We are a year in. It seems everything has changed, but the economy. And that is something that the president seems to be in denial about. We had full-fledged patriotic projection. And in some ways, that can be a great thing. But a pep talk from the president is not going to pay your mortgage. It's not going to lower your electricity bill. It's not going to ease.
Republicans are crazy enough to say they should use subpoena Meghan Markle because she has to know something.
Have legitimate pressing concerns around affordability.
That's goofy, man.
And there is no legislative agenda that the president laid out. And I think that's very dangerous. The Republicans I talk to, the congressmen and women, senators, staffers, we still don't know what to say as we head into the midterms here. I go back home to New Hampshire. People ask me, hey, Maddie, when are we going to get our DOGE rebate check? When are we going to get our tariff rebate check? Is that going to be one check? I mean, now we're talking about getting rid of income tax. We have no answers other than, how about that hockey team?
Yeah, that was indeed the one triumphant moment, bipartisan triumphant moment that night. And to your point about Republicans worried
crazy,
and Democrats
Bernie.
enthusiastic,
So
let's turn to Texas. That state
yeah.
is seeing historic turnout.
Yeah, but
ahead
at
of
least
some highly anticipated.
At least now, like when Republicans go, the media is all against Trump, we can pretty confidently be like, bro, you're retarded. No, it's not.
Primary races, and it's being driven by Democrats. According to state data,
If they block
Texas
it,
Democrats
WB
have
gets
cast
$7 billion.
1.5 times as many ballots in the first 8 days of early voting for this year's midterms as they did in all of early primary voting back in 2024. Candidates and political groups are also shattering spending records in the race for Republican Senator John Cornyn's seat. State Representative James Tallarico faces Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Tallarico's team reported raising more than $21 million through last week. That's a lot. While Team Crockett reported also a healthy nearly $8.6 million. According to the ad tracking firm Ad Impact,
Jira
the
sequel.
has come from groups
There's
not
some
tied
Watergate
to
Biden
candidates.
cover-up story part 2.
Groups backed in Cornyn has spent almost $57 million so far to help
Yeah,
him win
CNN.
re-election.
Well, it's already
It's
been
expected
sort
to
of.
be a tough race against Texas Attorney General.
It's already
Paxton
been sort of
and Congressman
going that way.
Hunt. This comes as President Trump
It's the
is
way she
expected
goes,
to travel
boys.
to Corpus Christi tomorrow, his first appearance since the State of the Union. While Trump has endorsed a dozen Texas Republicans in their March 3rd congressional and legislative primaries, he has so far stayed out of backing a candidate in the GOP U.S. Senate race. And Kurt, you know Texas politics well. There's a sense here that Cornyn's in some trouble on the Republican
Seriously,
side.
fuck
And we
Jake
know
Tapper.
the Lone Star State is sort of is the white whale, I guess, for Democrats. They feel like, oh, we could do it. This time we could do it. They've always fallen short. In fact, in 24, gave up some of the progress they made in previous cycles. But here we are, yet again, some hope, particularly if there's a blue wave.
Yeah, I live in Dallas, and it's been
Blue
interesting. So much chatter,
tsunami.
and it's really all over.
Oh, one of my favorite new soundboards that I've added, guys. Check this out.
Why don't you go over and suck their dicks if you like them so much?
We're seeing major turnout at political rallies. Enthusiasm that we have. Tallarico was in Dallas just last night to a packed rally.
Such a good
Crockett's
one.
been running an aggressive campaign. It's all over the airwaves. There's this feeling with Cornyn and Paxton that
And then
Paxton-
there's also, these are just useful.
So dumb.
And they're both very useful.
Just has this race lined up. Cornyn has not been able to make a dent on his sizable lead throughout the entire campaign, in spite of some personal issues coming out on Paxton that are negative.
I need to
For
show
someone
y'all
like
some
Cornyn,
clips
who's been
from
an
Shorzy.
institution in Texas politics for so long. It's been an institution in the U.S.
That
Senate,
show's
ran
incredible.
The NRSC. To be in this position in a primary and for the president to sit it out basically and not endorse is pretty telling and revealing about the president thinking he can't get the job done. Paxton's going to win. It is the perfect storm, if there is one, for Democrats who believe that with the right candidate who can motivate turnout,
You didn't get the
enthusiasm, get the
fuck.
young vote
And yes,
turnout,
yes,
get
yes,
minorities
yes,
turnout,
yes,
and
and
a
I did
person
not,
with as much
unfortunately,
baggage as
sorry.
Paxton has, that could be the right
We are
recipe
one.
to finally
Listen,
capture
we
the
are one Discord boost away from having 12 more open soundboard slots, so I could probably add
the
those.
white whale and make ground in Texas. And Democrats do realize that no matter what
Some
happens in this
generous
election,
person
the way
could
that the
bump it up
demographics
right
are going
now.
in this country,
That's true.
the way that redistricting is going
Right
to
now,
happen in
99.
2030, they're going to have to start competing and invest resources in places like Texas and get behind red dirt
Jake
Democrats
Tapper
to try
is
to make
not only
grounds in
is he
areas
not
that they
getting
aren't gonna
fired, he'll
lose
probably
from.
get a
They're gonna lose seats in
promotion. He's
California.
already
Republicans
constantly
are gonna
attacking
gain
Biden
seats in Florida
conservatives.
after the next reapportionment.
Conservatives
They
do
have to start
not
playing in
love
this part of
him.
the country, so the money
That's
spent
the
here,
worst part,
even if
is
don't
they
get
don't even like him, and he's a total useful
job
idiot
done,
for
they
them.
understand they need to start doing the resources here in order to be competitive in future elections as well.
Which promise?
I love democracy.
Left-wing version of Fox to me in the 2010s, so I was never an avid watcher. Low role he plays. Yeah, he still gets shit on my mag, which is funny. Yeah, Center left to me would be like NPR for the server boost. Oh, did I say free chicken dance for the server boost? Yeah. If y'all get me to level 3.
Yes,
free,
you did.
Free chicken dance. Yeah. No, see, like, why'd you do that, Neighborhoody? Because all we had to do was get it up to level 3. That would have been a free chicken dance. If you're gonna waste your, waste your points.
Wait, we got the boost?
It was reflexive and non-voluntary. No, Neighboruni paid for it.
Okay. Poor thing.
Mika.
No, you love it. Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Come here, baby.
Oh, hi, baby. Oh.
It's chicken dance time. You know what I do.
Yeah. Oh. Shake that thing.
I'm holding my dog. What a weird thing to say.
Well, I wasn't looking, but it's not like she'll get in the way anyways, as you know.
Wet ass P-word.
That's so uncomfortable, babe.
It's really doing something for me, though. Like, life can't get much better than this. Now just let me have a free trash pass, yeah.
One of these days, a griper's gonna come in here in the middle of me doing a fucking chicken dance. Oh, that'll be rough. You're so good. You're doing so good.
Do you feel redeemed?
You got? Nope.
Anybody else is doing something on a Friday night is doing it wrong. This should just be Freaky Friday officially.
Good girl. Peanut. That is so good. You want another peanut? You get another peanut. You're so good. Mwah. Such a good girl. By the way, you don't... The Mika on camera thing is free with every chicken dance. You didn't need to do that.
I wanted to.
Go ahead, babes.
Huh? Huh?
Huh?
Well, you know...
Hey, if you don't like America, then you can.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. We're gonna go through everything in the soundboard right now.
Okay, I did not, and...
How dare you?
Okay.
Alright, we're saying goodbye to the YouTube retards because I want to show you guys some stuff from Shoresy because that's where my new soundboard sounds are from, and
I
I
have
love
to
it.
drive to my new home.